think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
Things just need to be left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view, like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing X, Y, Z.
You always wonder, well, people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough, that there might be an excuse for that. So.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith weighs in on Canelo Alvarez's noticeably bigger frame ahead of his showdown with Terence Crawford, raising questions about how the size gap could influence the fight. While he praises Crawford as the more skilled boxer, Smith cautions that if Crawford can't generate enough power to truly challenge Canelo, it might become a serious problem. His comments underscore the concerns surrounding the physical differences and the potential effect they could have on this highly anticipated matchup.
I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight, and he believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Fortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's renowned trainer, has responded to long-standing allegations regarding the use of performance-enhancing substances in boxing. In the past, Reynoso faced accusations of providing or permitting such substances to fighters in his gym, but he has strongly denied these claims. He emphasized that his fighters, including Canelo, handle their own nutrition plans and that he does not intervene in their dietary choices. This clarification comes at a crucial time ahead of the Crawford fight, as speculation often rises when a fighter's physique or performance shows notable improvements. Reynoso stresses that his priority is on training strategies, skill development, and mental preparation, making it clear he is not directly involved in nutrition or supplement management.
Eddie Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snack. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hydraulic chambers. Get Nello on Snack. Hey, brother, Nello on Snack with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt, brother, please.
Although Eddie Reynoso has trained several fighters, 7 by some accounts, who have failed drug tests during their careers, he stresses that this in no way implicates Canelo Alvarez. Reynoso emphasizes that each situation should be judged individually, and ultimately, fighters are responsible for what they put into their bodies. Regarding Canelo, Reynoso asserts that he has always followed a clean regimen and has been meticulous about his food and supplement intake.
Boxing corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled it proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah, 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 and he distanced himself. Now, why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who have all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC, maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence, put it that way. Again, that's not true, I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terence Crawford's strength coach has delivered a bold prediction ahead of the eagerly awaited showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Confidently, he claimed that Crawford will dominate Canelo, asserting that the camp is fully prepared for every challenge. His remarks reflect the team's belief that Crawford's power, conditioning, and relentless work ethic can overcome Canelo's size and experience. The coach highlighted that their training has been precise and strategic, focusing on both strength and stamina to match Canelo in every aspect. This statement has only intensified the hype, fueling debates over whether Crawford's power at a higher weight class will be enough to challenge a seasoned champion like Canelo.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Some analysts suggest that the size of the ring could play a crucial role in the fight. A standard-sized ring would give Crawford the space to leverage his speed, movement, and tactical positioning to keep Canelo at a distance. Past fights have shown that Canelo can struggle against opponents who maintain range and use lateral movement, as seen in his loss to Dimitri Bivol. Fighters who force Canelo to chase rather than engage toe-to-toe often disrupt his rhythm and frustrate him. If the ring favors mobility, Crawford's chances of controlling the pace and dictating exchanges increase dramatically. However, if Canelo manages to close the distance quickly, the bout could turn into a much more physical confrontation.
If the ring is standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he gonna get. But that's the thing, in that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, he talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dogfight with Canelo. No, I think he gonna whoop his ass off to him.
Veteran sports broadcaster Jim Gray has shared his thoughts on the matchup, describing it as a thrilling clash between two fighters with remarkable legacies. He commended Canelo Alvarez for his consistent success across multiple weight classes and equally recognized Terence Crawford for his dominance in his own division. Gray's balanced view highlights the respect both fighters command in the sport. He noted that this fight is about more than just titles. It's a battle for legacy, with each man striving to cement his place in boxing history.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So, I don't know how that combination ends up. The weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame, and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
On follow-up, do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez has voiced serious doubts about Crawford's chances, highlighting the significant size difference between the two fighters. He explained that weight divisions exist for a reason, emphasizing that while skill is crucial, natural size and strength play a major role. Sanchez pointed out that Canelo's power at his natural weight class presents a formidable challenge for Crawford, who is moving up to face him. In his view, even a talent like Crawford will struggle to overcome the physical disadvantages in this matchup.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154 pounder, moved up one division. They had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. You talk about a guy in Canelo whose really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo has dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions.
Definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night, my friend?
I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3 years.
Legendary ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. shared his perspective, noting that in matchups like this, the naturally bigger fighter often holds the advantage, giving Canelo Alvarez the edge. However, Lennon also pointed out that Canelo hasn't appeared as dominant in some of his recent fights, which could create an opening for Crawford. His balanced view suggests that while size is important, recent form and strategy could still play a decisive role in the outcome.
The super fight in September, how do you see that fight playing out? Who are you leaning towards? Who wins that fight?
Yeah, I tell you, I tend to always think the naturally bigger fighter is going to have an advantage. I'm just, with the Crawford moving up, he was a 135-pound champion. They had 40, fantastic champion. 47 then, and then 54 is 68 too much. That's really a big jump. But I tell you, a lot of people I respect just say, no, he's going to be favored on that.
Wow.
So I don't know what to say, but Canelo's a great fighter and a smart fighter, and two fighters in the pound for pound best, getting it on. That's nice for boxing.
And if Crawford is successful, where would you place him in the all-time greats? Does he belong in the top 10, or you've seen so many fighters come across?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. But certainly he should be considered. He should be in that discussion, and people could argue that either way for a while. But if he does it, you always wonder. Will people say that Canelo was going down and he had had enough? That there might be an excuse for that. So, we'll see. But it'd be quite a feat if he does beat Canelo. That'd be amazing.
Undefeated champion Shakur Stevenson has expressed strong confidence in Terence Crawford's abilities, calling him the best in his weight class. Stevenson believes Crawford's exceptional skills can overcome even a larger and stronger opponent like Canelo Alvarez. His praise carries extra weight coming from a fighter with proven talent and credibility. Stevenson's remarks highlight the respect Crawford commands among elite boxers and reinforce the idea that size alone won't determine the outcome. Many in the boxing community share this view, seeing Crawford as a genuine threat despite the size difference, making this potential matchup one of the most intriguing and highly anticipated in the sport today.
When you first heard about this idea, when you first heard about it, what did you think of this idea of Bud going up to 68 to fight Canelo?
I ain't gonna lie, I've been putting it out since, I want to say, when he fought Sean Porter. Like back then, if you go watch, it's an interview out there. I had said I think that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez right after he fought Sean Porter. So the idea, I've been thinking about it. I've been saying it before Bud even was saying it.
Why were you saying it then? Like that was what, a few years ago? Was he 160 or 168 at that point? But why did you believe then that was the right fight?
Because I just knew, like, as far as in that weight class, Terence Crawford is like the greatest. So I just feel as though with Canelo's style and like the style of boxing that he got, I think and this is before Bivol did it, but I thought like Terence Crawford was the only guy who I felt as though could have beat Canelo with his style.
So tell me if you think I'm wrong here. Like, I might have been more confident after the Spence fight when he threw a lot of right hands in that fight, was aggressive. Against Madrimov, he didn't throw a lot of right hands in that fight. And I've been saying for years that the only way to beat Canelo Alvarez, throw right hands. Gennady Golovkin did it, almost beat him, probably should have beat him the first time around. Dimitri Bivol did it in their fight. Other guys tend to try to jab him to death. I don't think you can win fights
I was
jabbing.
about to say, I disagree with you.
That's not surprising at all.
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.